So I'm going to start reading this book. It's called The Voice of Knowledge by Don Miguel Ruiz. The Toltec. Thousands of years ago, the Toltec were known throughout southern Mexico as women and men of knowledge. Anthropologists have spoken of the Toltec as a nation or a race. But in fact, the Toltec were scientists and artists who formed a society to explore and conserve the spiritual knowledge and practices of the ancient ones. They came together as the ancient city of pyramids outside of Mexico City, known as the place where the man becomes God. Over the millennia, the Nahuals were forced to conceal the ancestral wisdom and maintain its existence. European conquest coupled with rampant misuse of personal power by a few of the... Hi, would you like a reading? A tarot reading? No. Michael, you don't want a reading? You don't want a tarot reading? Hi. If anyone would like a tarot reading, you can put it in the chat below. Jen Twins, okay. Write your question below. Yeah. Yes, Jen Twins, you can get one. Why does the screen look weird? Is this year going to be fortunate for me? Okay. For Gen Twins, show me. Is this year going to be fortunate for Gen Twins? Please say something good. I'm going to be honest, whether it's good or bad. But it's already starting off kind of good, so. Okay, so for this year, what I do see is emotional fulfillment for you, okay? I do see celebrations. I see you going out a lot. I do see you. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, let's keep going. Where was I? Okay. So I do see emotional fulfillment this year. If you're looking for some sort of like recognition, you're not really gonna get it. Like if you want someone to recognize you for some kind of effort, that's, I don't see that happening, but I do see you being happy in general. Are you moving away? Are you moving? I see like there's gonna be movement. You're gonna move, start somewhere, start something fresh, new. But they are asking you to not place yourself in situations where you feel stuck. Like you purposely do this to yourself, like kind of like a self-sabotage. So they're asking you to be careful. Please do something to me. I'm from Poland. Are you looking for power couple vibes? I see that. I got the point. Okay. I'm glad it helped. But anyways, let me just keep going. They're also showing me that this year there's gonna be problems if you're in a relationship. I do see quite a bit problems. So take care of that. Like do what you gotta do in order to make it the year a little more easy for you and your partner. Because I do see that you're currently holding, like it feels, the connection feels very burdensome. Oh. I see someone else coming in. Are you a man? A male? Because I see another woman coming in here. Ooh, I see you choosing. Having to choose. Feels like a breakup. Because someone else is coming in and kind of disrupting that. Feels like it's going to be from work. You're going to meet this person at work. Or it's someone from work. Someone you collaborate with. You're going to end up collaborating with. It's going to kind of make you question. It's going to be easier for you to kind of step out because of this other woman. So, I mean, be careful or you're going to have to move on type of situation. Witchcraft, what do you mean? I'm not here to do witchcraft. I'm just doing tarot. Although I do witchcraft. So all in all, this year looks kind of low-key chaotic. It's a lot going on. Like moving around, relationship situations. I'm feeling like I should move on. I'm with someone, but yeah, I'm seeing that there's someone else gonna come in and you're gonna feel kind of swayed to go to the other. Because you and the person who you're currently with do not, although it seems like you guys do understand each other in some way, maybe the morals, like things just are not aligning. There's just too many problems there. You guys probably want two different things out of life and it's just not working out. Too many different opinions, too many opposing factors, you know? And if the woman you're currently with, if she's a little more like logical and I guess you would say more like witty, sharp, more in her head, not really into romance and not very nurturing. This other woman seems that she's gonna have like a softer energy to her. So that might be part of the appeal. You're getting weirded out. Why? You know too much? These cards don't lie, honey. Thank you. I hope you have a good rest of your day, okay? Subscribe, like the video. Thank you. And if you feel called for donation, you can donate to my Cash App. It's not mandatory, but it's just if you want to. Okay, let's see. Maybe we should keep reading. Where was I? Made it necessary to shield the knowledge from those who were not prepared to use it wisely or who might intentionally misuse it for personal gain. Fortunately, the esoteric Tolic knowledge was embodied and passed on through generations by different lineages of Nawals. Though it remained veiled in secrecy for hundreds of years, ancient prophecies foretold the coming of an age when it would be necessary to return the wisdom to the people. Now, Don Miguel Ruiz, a Nawal, from the Eagle Knight lineage has been guided to share with us the powerful teachings of the Toltec. Toltec knowledge arises from the same essential unity of truth as all the sacred esoteric traditions found around the world. Though it is not a religion, it honors all the spiritual masters who have taught on the earth. While it does embrace spirit, it is most accurately described as a way of life, distinguished by the ready accessibility of happiness and love. Would you like a tarot reading? You can write it in the chat below if you're interested, okay? Adam and Eve, the story from a different point of view. A beautiful and ancient legend that almost everyone has heard before is the story of Adam and Eve. It is one of my favorite stories because it explains with symbolism that I will try to explain with words. The story of Adam and Eve is based on absolute truth, though I never understood it as a child. It is one of the greatest teachings ever. But I believe that most people misunderstand it. Now I will tell you this story from a different point of view, perhaps from the same point of view as the one who created it. The story is about you and me. It's about us. It's about all of humanity because, as you know, humanity is only one living being. Man, woman, we are only one. In the story, innocent before we closed our spiritual eyes. Hold on. Let's see. Don't like this blue screen. There. The story begins when we were innocent, before we closed our spiritual eyes, which means thousands of years ago. We used to live in a paradise, in the Garden of Eden, which was heaven on earth. Heaven exists when our spiritual eyes are open. It is a place of peace and joy, freedom, and eternal love. For us, Adam and Eve, everything was about love. We loved and respected one another, and we lived in perfect harmony with all of creation. Our relationship with God, our Creator, was a perfect communion of love, which means that we communed with God all of the time, and God communed with us. It was inconceivable to be afraid of God, the one who created us. The Creator was a God of love and justice, and we put our faith and trust in God. God gave us complete freedom, and we used our free will to love and enjoy all of creation. Life was beautiful in paradise. The original humans saw everything through the eyes of truth, the way it is, and we loved it. That is the way we used to be, and it was effortless. Well, the legend says that in the middle of paradise stood two trees. One was the tree of life, which gave life to everything in existence, and the other was the tree of death, better known as the tree of knowledge. The tree of knowledge was a beautiful tree with juicy fruit, very tempting. And God told us, don't go near the tree of knowledge. If you eat the fruit of that tree, you may die. Of course, no problem. But by nature, we love to explore, and surely we want to pay a visit to the tree. If you remember the story, you can already guess who lived at that tree. The tree of knowledge was the home of a big serpent full of poison. The snake is just another symbol for what the Toltec called the parasite, and you can imagine why. The story says that the snake who lived And the tree of knowledge was a fallen angel who used to be the most beautiful one. As you know, an angel is a messenger who delivers God's message, a message of truth and love. But for who knows what reason, that fallen angel no longer delivered truth, which means he delivered the wrong message. The fallen angel's message was fear instead of love. It was a lie instead of truth. In fact, the story describes the fallen angel as the prince of light, which means that he was an eternal liar. Every word coming out of his mouth was a lie. According to the story, the prince of lies was living in the tree of knowledge, and the fruit of that tree, which was knowledge, was contaminated with lies. We went to that tree and we had the most incredible conversation with the prince of lies. We were innocent. We didn't know. We trusted everyone, and there was the prince of lies at first, storyteller, a very smart guy. What the hell? Where was I? Now the story gets a little more interesting because that snake by itself had a whole story of its own. That fallen angel talked, and we listened and listened and listened. As you know, when we are children, our grandparents tell us stories. We are eager to hear everything that they tell us. We learn, and it's very seductive. We want to know more. But this is the prince of lies talking. No doubt about it. He was lying, and we were seduced by the lies. We believed the fallen angel's story, and that was our big mistake. That is that it means to eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge. We agreed and took his word as truth. We believed the lies. We put our faith in them. When we bit into the apple, we ate the lies that came with knowledge. What happens when we eat a lie? We believe it, and boom, now that lie lives in us. It is easy. This is easy to understand. The mind is very fertile ground for concepts, ideas, and opinions. If someone tells us a lie, we believe it, and that lie takes root in our mind. Let's make the background pink again. There it can grow big and strong, just like a tree. One little lie can become very contagious, spreading its seeds from one person to person when we share it with others. Well, the lies went into our mind and reproduced a whole tree of knowledge inside of our head, which is everything that we know. But what is it that we know? Mostly lies. If you guys would like a tarot reading, just let me know. Write it in the chat below. Let's see. The tree of knowledge is a powerful symbol. The legend says that whoever eats the fruit of the tree of knowledge will have knowledge of good and evil. They will know the difference between what is right and what is wrong, what is beautiful and what is ugly. They will gather all of the knowledge and begin to judge. Well, that is what happened in our head. And the symbolism of the apple is that very concept. Every lie is just like the fruit with the seed. When we place a fruit in fertile ground, the seed of the fruit creates another tree. That tree reproduces more fruit, and by the fruit, we know the tree. Now, each of us has our own tree of knowledge, which is our personal belief system. The tree of knowledge is the structure of everything we believe. Every concept, every opinion forms a little branch of that tree until we end up with the whole tree of knowledge. As soon as that tree is alive in our mind, we hear The fallen angel talking very loudly. The same fallen angel, the prince of lies, lives in our mind. From the Tolek point of view, a parasite was living in the fruit. We ate the fruit and the parasite went inside of us. Now the parasite is living our life. The storyteller, the parasite, is born inside of our head and it survives inside of our head because we feed it with our faith. The story of Adam and Eve explains how humanity fell from the dream of heaven into the dream of hell. It tells us how we became the way we are right now. The story usually says that we just took one bite of the apple, but this is not true. I think we ate all of the fruit of that tree and we became sick from being so full of lies and emotional poison. Humans ate with the eyes of truth. We began to perceive the world in a completely different way, and everything changed for us. With the tree of knowledge in our head, we could only perceive knowledge. We could only perceive lies. We no longer lived in heaven because lies have no place in heaven. This is how humans lost paradise. We dream lies. We create a whole dream of humanity individually and collectively based on lies. Before humans ate the fruit of the tree of knowledge, we lived in truth. We spoke only truth. We lived in love without any fear. After we ate the fruit, we felt guilt and shame. We judged ourselves as no longer good enough. And of course, we judged others the same. With judgment came polarity, separation, and the need to punish and to be punished. For the first time, we will no longer kind to one another we no longer respected and loved all of all of God's creation. Now we suffered and we began to blame ourselves, to blame other people, and even to blame God. We no longer believed that God was loving and just. We believed that God would punish and hurt us. It was a lie. It was not truth. But we believed it and we separated from God. From this point, it is easy to understand what is meant by original sin. The original sin is not sex. No, that is not another lie. The original sin is to believe that lies come from the snake in the tree of the fallen angel. The meaning of the word sin is to go against. Everything that we say, everything that we do against ourselves is a sin. To sin is not about blame or moral condemnation. To sin is to believe in lies and to use those lies against ourselves. From that sin, that original lie, all of our other sins are born. How many lies do you hear in your head? Who is judging? Who is talking? Who is the one with all the opinions? If you don't love, it's because that voice doesn't let you love. If you don't enjoy life, it's because the voice doesn't let you enjoy it. And not only that, the liar in our head has the need to express all those lies to tell its story. We share the fruit of our tree with others, and because others have the same kind of liar, together our lives become more powerful. We now can hate more. We can now hurt more. We can now defend our lives and become fanatics following our lies. Humans even destroy one another in the name of these lies. Who is living our life? Who is making our choices? I think the answer is obvious. Now we know what is going in our head. The storyteller is there. It is the story. It is the voice in our head. The voice is talking and talking and talking, and we are listening and listening and believing every word. The voice never stops judging. It judges whatever we do, whatever we don't do, whatever we feel, whatever we don't feel, whatever everybody else does. It is constantly gossiping in our head, and what comes out of that voice? Lies, mostly lies. These lies hook our attention and all we can see are lies. That is the reason we don't see the reality of heaven that exists in the same place at the same time. Heaven belongs to us because we are the children of heaven. The voice in our head doesn't belong to us. When we are born, we don't have that voice. That voice in our head becomes after we learn. First the language, then different points of view, then all the judgments and lies. Even when we first learn to speak, we only speak truth. But little by little, the whole tree of knowledge is programmed into our head, and the big liar eventually takes over the dream of our life. You see, in the moment we separated from God, we started to search for God. For the first time, we started to search for the love we believed we didn't have. We started to search for justice, for beauty, for truth. The search began thousands of years ago, and humans are still searching for the paradise we lost. We are searching for the way we used to be before we believed in the lies, authentic, truthful, loving, and joyful. The truth is, we are searching for ourselves. You know, it is true what God told us. If we eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge, we may die. We did eat it, and we are dead. We are dead because our authentic self is no longer there. The one who is living our life is the big liar, the prince of lies. That voice in our head. You can call it thinking. I call it the voice of knowledge. Points to ponder. The mind is fertile ground for concepts, ideas, and opinions. If someone tells us a lie and we believe it, the lie takes root in our mind and it can grow big and strong like a tree. One little lie can be very contagious, spreading its seeds from one person when we share it with others. Knowledge goes into our mind and reproduces a structure inside of our head, which is everything that we know. With all that knowledge in our head, we only perceive what we believe. We only perceive our own knowledge. And what is it that we know? Mostly lies. Once the tree of knowledge is alive in our mind, we hear the fallen angel talking very loudly. That voice never stops judging. It tells us right and what is wrong, what is beautiful and what is ugly. The storyteller is born inside of our head, and it survives in our head because we feed it with our faith. Heaven exists when our spiritual eyes are open, when we perceive the world through the eyes of truth. Once lies hook our attention, our spiritual eyes are closed. We fall from the dream of heaven and begin to live the dream of hell. Heaven belongs to us because we are the children of heaven. The voice in our head doesn't belong to us. When we are born, we don't have that voice. Thinking comes after we learn. The first language, then different points of view, then all the judgment and lies. The voice of knowledge comes as we accumulate knowledge. Before we eat the lies that come with knowledge, we live in truth. We speak only truth. We live in love without any fear. Once we have knowledge, we judge ourselves as no longer good enough. We feel guilt, shame, and the need to be punished. We begin to dream lies and we separate from God. In the moment when we separated from God, we began to search for God, for the love we believe we don't have. Humans are continually searching for justice, for beauty, for truth, for the way we used to be before we believed in lies. We are searching for our authentic selves. What do you guys think? I think I'm gonna read chapter 2 of the next live. That was chapter 1. Let me see. It's not going. There you go.